All right, welcome back, everyone. I thought we'd take this chance to look at yet another of the moons in this system. So let's go ahead and see what we get here. The last one gave us some nice views, but it did not give us maybe the resources we were looking for. This one appears to have some green on it, and possibly even some water, or at least liquid of some sort. So let's see what we get here. All right, so immediately we're doing a lot better than we did last time. That is for sure. So we got some trees. Let's go ahead and sit down here and just take a look around, see what we've got on this particular planet. All right, I'm liking the grass. Okay, so we got Paradise Moon. Nice. Minimal sentinels, not much flora, and no fauna. But we have grass. All right, so let's go ahead and start scanning some things. I hate that there's really no animals around to speak of. Okay, we got some things to scan. All right, so let's take a quick look. All right, it told us that the weather is temperate, which means it should be a lot easier on our exosuit. Minimal sentinels, which is good. Also, the downside of that probably means that there's not much here in the way of resources. The flora rare and fauna barren. So, okay, well, let's just head out and see what we can find. Overall, looks like this is a fairly nice place to be. See what that is. Looks like a radish. Analyzing this. Weird looking buttercups there. Okay, we got a sentinel there. Is he trying to tell us something we can scan? Oh no, he's looking to see that we just took that Thamium-9 from that. Okay. Let's do a quick scan, see what's around. Looks like not much. Scan this rock, because why not? What are these? All right, so we've got what appears to be plentiful resources of carbon and iron. Okay, what is this? Some more stuff to scan here. Can't scan the bushes, okay. So far, more rocks. Ooh, and a tree. Isn't it interesting that you find yourself in a universe where finding a tree can be exciting? Okay, we've already discovered that. And let's just walk around and see what else is to be had here. Did we scan this bush? No, we did not. Now we scan the bush. All right, we've got a outpost up ahead. Let's go see what it has in store for us. What about this? Did we scan this? Yeah, we did. Nice. Look at that. Very nice view there. Definitely need a screenshot of that. So we've got some titanium. Very good. Very nice. Titanium is not exactly rare. We found it in crystallized form other places, but I'm hoping that particular find, that large crystal formation, is... All right, so we'll have to destroy that to get anything out of it. All right, there's a save point over here. Let's go ahead and take care of that. Okay. overall, very nice. I would definitely had preferred that we could find, a lot of animals out here running around, because it definitely seems to be a great planet for it. A temperate climate. We've got grass everywhere. Let's go see if this is Heridium and gold, or maybe we've got another interesting resource to discover. But first, plutonium. All right, this is nickel. Okay. Nickel we also found on the previous moon. Okay, so we're just going to mine a little bit of that. Get close to 100 maybe. Again, I'm loving these upgrades that are enabling me to get that. Okay, here's some more iridium. Nice. Okay. Very nicely done. Again, I don't think we can do, yeah, it's just iron. Let's take a look down inside. Oh, so we've got water. Now, let me show you a couple of upgrades. I come across these that are supposed to give me the ability to last a lot longer, to, number one, to breathe underwater, and number two, to last even longer. So first thing I want to do here, as you can probably imagine, is look out to make sure there are no, sharks or whatever in the water, because I have this, one of the things that you learn in other games is to fear being underwater because of the animals that are there. All right, nothing there, but I have hopes that maybe we'll find something elsewhere on the planet. Okay, so once again, hate it when that happens. Okay, let's get back down. Okay, now that we're back in some sort of orbit. Okay, this looks like a good place for us to land over here, and maybe meet our first alien. We scanned this. Yes, we have. All right. So, man, I can't even tell you how much I wish, because this is a beautiful planet. I can't tell you how much I wish that there were a lot of animals out here running around. This would be great. They've mentioned that there's going to be base building in the future. Well, this is a great place for just a home base where you can chill out, because this seems to be having no impact on my suit's survivability at all. So this seems like a tremendous place if you just wanted to forget about the survival, forget about collecting stuff for a while, and just enjoy the fact that you're on a beautiful planet. Again, because of the Sentinels and being very minimal on this planet, it does appear that, let's solve this puzzle right quick before I get too carried away. So 2916. But this seems like a perfect place for one of those bases. I have high hopes for the base function. But at the same time, it kind of scares me because I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go with it. Because let's face facts. I mean, it's a bunch of different ways they could go with this. And one of the things they could do is simply allow us to build some of these little pods that you see scattered around. And if that's the case, then it's really going to be a letdown for me. But you never know. Here in just a moment, I'm dying to sort of get down in that water and see what's down there. Not sure what to expect. I believe whenever they talk about there is no fauna on the planet, I think they're talking about, let's see, what is this? This is aluminum, okay? Good. Okay, we'll get just a little bit of this and then we'll keep moving. Again, these videos, I try to keep them between 20 and 30 minutes generally. And I'm going to tell you, it is very difficult to do sometimes because there's so much to do. If we're collecting resources, it becomes very difficult to collect resources because, let's see, what do we have here? Let's find a nice spot right over here next to the water, but not in it. At least I hope we're not in it. Okay. All right. Let's get down here to the edge of this water and see what we can see. Just the sound. The fact that, wow, we can actually see through this. Let's get out here and see what we... Wait, first we have to scan. That thing is extremely bright. All right, let's get down here and see what we can see. I'm not expecting a whole lot. But, sometimes you just want to get in and take in the beauty of what you find. And this is one of those times. Unfortunately, there's really not a lot of resources on this planet as far as scarce resources. But by the way, can we use our multi-tool? Yes, we can. Nope, nothing to scan there. All right. So let's, very nice. Take a couple of screenshots here. I mean, come on, why wouldn't you? Very nicely done. I know the art style in this game. Some love it, some hate it. I'm enjoying it. It's a nice change of pace. I like the style in general. It's definitely not anything you would call photorealistic, but very nice. I'm enjoying it. Let's see. So right now, this thing wants more. Okay. So interesting. Things like zinc. I never like to use zinc because I've seen it used in upgrades, and also if you find an abandoned ship, you're going to need some zinc to get it off the ground. So I find myself paranoid about using zinc for anything else. So I'm not crazy about the fact that refilling some of these survival aspects take that as well. I'm not crazy about that. I'm hoarding my zinc because I've seen so little of it. I do want to stop here because I just saw some crystallized minerals that are, Chrysonite. This is one thing I have found almost none of so far. Excellent. So if we can find lots of this, then we are in business on this planet, because I'm finding that a lot of the higher end, let's take a quick scan around and make sure there's nothing else. All right, looks like we're done here. But the Chrysonite I'm finding in a lot of the higher level things, I'm finding that it's being used. And the only little bit of it I've been able to obtain so far is purchasing it. So now I'm just trying to see. I saw one down here. So we're going to gather some of this for sure. And if there is one downside to a planet that has lots of grass like this, it's that it can make materials and resources harder to spot. because you have to, a lot of the times what you're looking for you find is hidden just like this. Okay, so that gives me health. What else do we have in this immediate area? You see these scans and it shows you things, but at the same time you don't know exactly how far that is from you. Okay, so let's go to our word wall and see what the knowledge stone low. Okay. Interesting. Somebody just dropped some cargo right here. Sure, it was completely no big deal. And Thamium 9. Almost a waste of time to get that while you're on a planet, unless you're just completely out of it because there's so much of it in space. Alright, let's see what else we got that's around here. Alright, I don't even see anything much. Okay. Alright, we'll move on. But the Chrysonite, I am very excited for. Alright, so these pop-ups can really get in the way. As you're looking through your inventory and you realize that there's a knowledge stone. At some point I'm hoping these knowledge stones are going to pay off. Because so far I feel like I've learned several words, and I had an accomplishment for it, or a milestone rather. But so far, none of this has really helped me to understand anything that they're telling me. So I'm really looking forward to that changing in the future. And who knows how many words I'm going to have to learn and what kind of luck of the draw that I'm going to have in order to actually begin to make sense out of what any of these races are telling me. Because so far, just not getting any use out of it. Alright, not seeing too many drop pods or settlement activity. Looks like we got a couple right up here. We'll see what's going on in this one. But yeah, this is a very nice looking planet. It definitely seems to be an area that you would want to settle. If you were going to set up a colony, this would seem like a great place to do it. This just seems like a perfect place to do it with a temperate climate and what appears to be water. I'm actually not sure if there's even a way to tell what that is. It's liquid something that we were swimming around in. Alright, let's go in here and see what we've got here. Alright, so we've got our normal. Okay, let's see what kind of upgrade we've got. Shield boost theta. Okay, we already knew that one, but that may come in handy later on, especially if we're going to really get into combat. Because if we're going to get into combat, we're going to need to really worry about powerful weapons. We may even need the bolt caster. Who knows? All right. 6533. Okay, we've discovered something. Is it a word? Okay, not sure. Don't think it actually told me anything. Except for our standing has been increased. Alright, let's do a quick save. And just to have a little fun with the Sentinels, we'll go ahead and give them something to do and let them scan that and see what in the world just happened over there. And we'll move on. nice and interesting to see all of this on a moon particularly. You know, you think about traditionally seeing this kind of stuff on a planet. Looks like a monolith over here. Or at least what I'm calling a monolith. See what kind of strange stuff we can learn over here. Sometimes these things want to stab you with a needle, inflict torture upon you to see how you react. So, not sure why anybody in reality would ever want to stop at one of these things and endure that type of torture, but hey. Let's see what it has in store for us this time. That is... yeah, that's interesting. Alright, now how do we get to it? What does it want us to do to get this thing fired up? Can we? Is this not a thing that we can do? Aha! Stairs. But of course there are stairs. Alright, so you're going to tell us a strange vision, of course. Blue light pours out from the monolith. Alright, here are some voices. Alright, this is good. So we're having an acid trip here at the monolith. Alright, so there's a doorway. Now we're aching for a past we cannot remember. Yeah, we're definitely having an acid trip right now. Can I truly abandon my journey when it's only just begun? So let's step back into the past. Ooh. So it shuts down on me. Alright. So are you going to let me go now? There we go. So we've learned another word, an atlas word this time. Interesting that it's an atlas word rather than a Corvax or a Vakine word. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect from our journey toward the center, but I'm really hoping that some of this starts to make sense as we get closer to the center. Looks like a nice settlement over there. Let's head that way and see what it has in store. I've enjoyed our time, although it's been short on this particular moon. But this is one of those times where I really like finding a planet that just seems hospitable. You know, there's beauty in all different types of the planets and moons that you find here, if you look hard enough. But sometimes you get views like this that are just hard to top. You know, you got the grass under your feet. You got a nice atmosphere that's not testing your ability to survive. And this guy here has a very nice place to work. All right. What have you got for us, sir? Once again, I understand... oh, this time I understand absolutely nothing of what he said. Excellent. So he's processing a signal from a distant location deep in space. Okay, interesting. So bright lights, so it wants me to either take or... I think the proper answer is probably to give. They make no clear impact. Okay, great. So we did nothing. You gotta love it. All right, so let's talk to this fella again and see if we can get somewhere with him. So this time we get entity and traveler. Tremendous. Let's request a new word. So teach me something. For orbital, okay. Now, I think you can really spam this guy and learn a whole bunch of words here. Let's see if that is indeed the case. I've read that is something you can do as long as you've got carbon. Okay, no, didn't work this time. Okay, so let's just say, let's say fuel. What is he going to give us? Oh, he gives us carbon so that we can continue to bug him. All right, excellent. Where is our ship? All right. Oh, wait. No, we did not look at the multi-tool upgrade. Okay, so we got the radiation, which I already have. All right, so we're good. So it's 19 degrees Celsius, and I will admit I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit, but I can tell you that it must be wonderful because it is. I've not been asked one time to do anything with my suit because I'm running out of materials. Oh, and up ahead there, I see what may be some sort of technology for us to find. There we go. Damaged machinery. Accelerated fire. Okay. Okay, what is this? Okay, so this is aluminum. Boy, we can make short work of this. There you go, Sentinels. There's something for you to take a look at. And they're not even coming around. Nope, can't do anything with this. All right. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, we're coming to the end of our time for this particular episode, but I hope you enjoyed the views from this planet, and we got a chance to explore. And finally, after our last couple of planets of basically being devoid of much of anything other than a few resources, we've now found a planet that at least has a nice atmosphere. So a very pleasant place to be if you're just going to hang out for a while in space. Thanks for joining, and hope you enjoyed it. And oh, finally, life support kicks in. So thanks everybody for joining. Hope you'll come in next time for the next episode of No Man's Sky.